So this brand new Akatsuki-like organization had pork chops on the run, huh? He was so scared, he overheard a couple of things, and he just ran away. Apparently he met them in some basement when he was stealing some things, but that's not important. The important part is that he ran away because he just sensed an evil, bad energy. Now, I'm wondering if we're supposed to take that literally, or if we're supposed to take that as some sort of like, okay, they're powerful, so he ran away. Because on one hand, it's normal to run away from powerful threats, right? But they almost make it sound like it's some demonic shit. Like these guys are, you know, doing some weird ritual and he just got some like bad, creepy vibes from that and he ran away. So I'm wondering which one it is. I guess it could be both, right? They don't have to be mutually exclusive. I'm glad Corpse Clone Shojiji had some type of purpose in the story, basically being a segue into the next arc where we actually get introduced to this new organization, because he gave us the organization's name, Kata, which means shell, and of course he hyped them up, saying that he ran away on sight. He didn't even make contact with them. And that says a lot about this guy who acts extra tough in front of these two brats, right? Tento and Boruto, but he pisses himself at the thought of this organization. It's nice to know that he serves some purpose outside of developing Mitsuki and Sarada's ninja skills, because, you know, Mitsuki came in with his body extensions, basically trapping the dude, and Sarada pretty much finished dude off, right? So it's nice to know, because I'm not gonna lie to you guys, Corpse Clone Shojiji was kind of disappointing, right? He had an ability where he could eat someone's brains, steal their abilities, and steal their appearance, and yet he got distracted by a shuriken. That says a lot about this dude, so I'm glad at the very least they use pork chops as a segue into the next arc with all these new threats, right? Because he himself, I don't want to think about him. I know some people are like, oh, but how can you not give credit to Corpse Clone Shojiji and this arc with Tento, and then give a lot of credit to the Land of the Waves arc, because really in the end, both of these arcs didn't serve some major purpose when it came to the plot. But here's the difference, alright? One arc was actually good. One arc didn't need ninja cards to establish a connection between two characters. Alright, like I don't care what anybody says, I love Naruto cards, but there's no excuses for all the product placement they're doing in these last few months' chapters, even though I don't actually think they're gonna bring back the Naruto card game, because that shit kind of failed to begin with, right? Like after a certain point in time, the Naruto card game didn't make enough money, so they pretty much stopped releasing them. At least that was the story in the States, because I'd follow the releases and eventually the stores wouldn't keep them in stock. So now I'm not gonna lie, seeing Sasuke in this chapter got me so excited. I can't wait to see where, you know, his journey of investigating Boruto's curse mark, where that will take him. Because Ibiki Moreno's no nice dude to look at when you're getting interrogated, right? And Sayama Naka's had his own experiences in, I guess, interrogation, right? I mean, he was a part of Foundation at one point in time. Shit, he couldn't really give out information because he was repressed. But those dudes are too tame, they're too slow. Sasuke gets right to the point, right? The place for a scum like you that lives on the edge of society is nowhere but the trash. And I think that's a little hypocritical, a little rich coming from Sasuke, because, you know, some people could view Sasuke as a scumbag that lived on the edge of society, right? So does Sasuke belong in the trash? I'm guessing Sasuke thought that he did for a long time, which is why he went on that journey of retribution. You ain't see Corpse Clone Shojiji go on no journey of retribution. He's only about eating motherfuckers' brains and shit. He's about to retribute your brain out your ass. You know what I mean? So I really love that Sasuke stepped it up to this dude. He got the information that he needed, and now he can investigate, and we don't have to waste our time, because keep in mind, these chapters come out once a month, guys. Sasuke got right to the point. Now, I do understand why people are seeing major similarities between Kata and the Akatsuki organization. We don't really know what Kata's purpose is yet. We obviously know what the Akatsuki organization was about because we dealt with them. There really was no one purpose of the Akatsuki. They kind of all joined for their own reasons, and they all thought they could make the world a better place through their own visions, and a lot of them were just used, right? Like, for instance, to recruit the Jinchuriki, and obviously the Akatsuki was led by different people at different times. I don't know how long this organization will last, I don't know anything about their goals, but their name does scream something very interesting to me. So, their name literally means shell. but shell of what, right? Because whenever something is named shell, it usually means something bigger than just what the name is, right? Shell. Could it be that they're shells of gods? I mean, we know they have some connection to the Otsutsuki clan. We know Kawaki is going to be introduced very, very soon, right? But for instance, Boruto killed Momoshiki. He got that mark on his palm, right? And that actually messed him up in this week's chapter when he was fighting Corpse Clone and he couldn't use his Rasengan for some reason. But for instance, that member Jigen that we saw at the end of the chapter, who I'm assuming is somewhere near the top of the order, he actually had that very diamond-shaped mark on his chin, that same curse mark or whatever you want to call it. So they're shells of something. They have that curse mark. Could it be that they're shells of gods? Maybe for some reason they managed to kill Otsutsuki clan members? It's crazy. What if they found Kaguya and killed her? Maybe they performed some kind of ritual where they were all involved in her killing and they all received a little piece of that spirit or something of that sort. Now, that's just a theory, right? I'm going off nothing pretty much. We only got like 2 or 3 pages of these guys. I'm just hoping each one of these guys has their own unique identities and they're not just Akatsuki clones, right? I wouldn't actually want that. I wouldn't want Itachi 2.0, Kisame 2.0, Kakuzu 2.0. I wouldn't want the leader to have Sharingan. I wouldn't want them all to have Sharingan pretty much, right? I wouldn't want Orochimaru to be involved in all of this because, I mean, they're already wearing the black robes. They're sort of like the Akatsuki, but I hope they sort of delve off and they change and they have their own unique identity. So we don't remember these guys as the Akatsuki 2.0, as the bargain deal Akatsuki that got taken out in 5 chapters. And seemingly operations are about to start for these guys. I'm hoping they're not pushovers. I'm hoping they don't get taken out as quickly as all the Shin clones got taken out, even though of course they were experiments. I'm assuming these guys are biological humans, although I don't get your hopes up too high because they have very, very pale skin and usually that's associated with some sort of experimentation. And if you look at where they're at, it's very reminiscent of the Kamui dimension, right? You see all of these like cubes or whatever. It's like they're in some sort of other world. So maybe there is somebody in the clan or in the organization that has, you know, the Sharingan, that has specifically Obito's Sharingan, and that's why they're there. Or maybe we'll get some brand new dojutsu. I'd rather have that. Because when they recycle Sharingan over and over and over again, it gets kind of old. Last month's chapter, I said I hope that Corpse Clone Shojiji got back up and he kept fighting to redeem himself, but now I take back my words because it's like, they gave him 10 to 15 pages just to stand back up, and it's like, I understand he's fat as fuck, alright, and he needs his time to get the ball rolling, but damn, they gave him like 10 to 15 pages only for him to be like, damn Boruto, your mark's scary. Are you by any chance from that organization? And he's just like walking towards him, and then he just like gets strangled by Mitsuki and just taken out by Sarada. So y'all really had him stand back up just to make an even bigger fool out the dude. Overall, guys, I really enjoyed this chapter. I've got to say this was the best chapter thus far in the Boruto series just because this is material we haven't really seen yet. I'm glad Mitsuki finally opened up about Orochimaru being his progenitor to everyone around him, right? And it took the card game to actually get this information out of Mitsuki. I did enjoy the little reunion between Tento and the father. They're both bitch-made nonetheless, but it's still heartwarming, right? Maybe in the future, Boruto will get favors from Tento because he got a lot of that guap, right? And, you know, one thing about the shonen world is you can save the world a 1,000 times over. Money will always be a problem for you, which is absolutely ridiculous. You should get unlimited supplies if you're the world's savior. Oh, and the nerve of Konohamaru to actually think for a second of punishing Boruto. When, if Tento actually got kidnapped, he died, and the father remained alive, oh man, that wouldn't have been good for the Hidden Lee village. They would have pushed those Russia sanctions on that ass, you know what I mean? There would be no food to go around. You'd have half the population starving in the Hidden Lee village. So for Konohamaru to be like, oh, you abandoned the mission, Boruto, and Boruto can't be the only